Viveka from the Nourished Caveman, and today I'm delighted to have an old friend and blogger buddy back in my kitchen as my guest. This is Emily from the Urban Eco Life, and you might have seen her in a previous video. We actually did our first cooking video together. About, what was it?
It was a year ago, just a bit over.
Maybe a year and a half.
Yeah.
And yeah, seems like a long time ago, right?
It's always fun when we get together.
Yeah, so Emily's visiting me again from Australia. I'm really excited. And of course I had to get her into some trouble, and we got into a really fancy recipe for you today. So the recipe we're going to do today is a savory panna cotta. But it seems just an innocent and easy recipe. Actually, it's a pretty amazing recipe because it's a nutrient-dense keto paleo recipe with great benefits for you. So it's a truly healing recipe. In my practice and my program, I really try to use foods as the first staple of healing. So that's why it's called the Healing Foods Method. This recipe is based on bone broth, and Emily, you've been doing some really good research. Emily has been scouring this wonderful book, which I strongly recommend you own because there's really good recipes. It's not keto, but you can modify a lot of them for being keto and low carb, but it has amazing information about broth.
Yes.
What did you find out about broth?
Well, as you know, Viveka, I love bone broth because it utilizes the whole animal. So it's also extremely sustainable and economical, but also it's amazing for gut healing. It helps with the high amount of collagen. It's fantastic for your skin, hair and nails. And there's more information about the benefits of bone broth in the post that we're going to link to in the video below.
Yeah, exactly. The other two main ingredients of this recipe are blue culinary sage and turmeric root. Here I'm using fresh turmeric root, or you can use turmeric powder if you cannot find the fresh root. One of the main benefits of sage is to be a very cooling herb. So as this is a recipe designed specifically for summer when the heat is on and you still want to get both of your bone broth and some good nutrition in your body, we want to make it possible for you to have a cooling version of your bone broth. So the sage version is going to have additional cooling properties. The turmeric version instead is going to have anti-inflammatory properties. Turmeric is an amazing medicinal. Another thing I want to mention is that in the two versions of this recipe, we're going to have a keto paleo version with coconut cream and then a keto primal version with cream cheese instead. And I am super happy about this cream cheese. I got a raw milk organic cream cheese from our local cheese making company. That is really fantastic. We're both drooling over it. Otherwise, I just use organic coconut milk and separate it into the cream. Whatever you can use that is the best, highest quality coconut milk. And another very important element of the recipe is gelatin. In this case, we're going to use gelatin to give the panna cotta its texture, gelatinous texture, combined with the own gelatinous effect of the broth when it's cooled. But this is a great gelatin that it is a supplement in itself. So I strongly recommend using Great Lakes gelatin as it is pure gelatin, and it's endorsed by the Weston Price Foundation as a high quality product. For these specific recipes, I used exclusively marrow bones. As you can see from this image, I put my marrow bones in the slow cooker with plenty of water, in this case it was about a gallon, and a couple of tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. The apple cider vinegar helps to leach the nutrients and the minerals out of the bones into the broth. I also added a couple of sprigs of fresh rosemary to give a better flavor. We're going to see in a minute how to infuse our broth with more flavor. Then, once I put the bones in the broth, I let them cook on low for about 24 hours with my slow cooker closed. Now, I cooled down and refrigerated the broth, and we have this really nice thick layer of fat on it.
It's solid.
Solid. So, ready for some scraping? As you can see, the fat crust came off quite easily, and it comes off in nice big pieces. So it takes just a moment to remove them. I'm also removing the rosemary, as I'm not going to need it anymore in the broth. Look at how jelly-ish our broth is already. It's very gelatinous. That means that it's great. That's how your broth's supposed to be. It has lots of glucosamine and MSM and all the good stuff that we want in the broth. But it's not quite gelatinous enough to create a panna cotta. That's why we're going to use the extra gelatin. So let's get to our recipe now. Yay. Okay, now we're going to measure 2 cups of broth. Try to scrape it. So this is our first 2 cups of broth. And we are going to infuse this first one with the sage leaves. So I'm going to actually put the sage leaves in there, cold, and then I'm going to set it on the stove and let it cook for about 5 minutes at a very gentle simmer, and then cool down. What you doing, Emily?
Peeling a turmeric.
Wait, you're supposed to tell us what you're doing.
I am peeling the turmeric.
And what you gonna do with that turmeric?
What are we gonna do with it? We're gonna grate it, right?
I think we're just gonna. We're gonna grate it. Yes, we're going to grate the turmeric.
There we go.
Ready?
Yep.
Now I'm gonna grate about 1 inch worth of turmeric into my broth. Okay, so both of our infusions are now going, and I would say 5 minutes, it could be 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how strong of a flavor you want to get. And also, like, the broth is going to turn a beautiful orange color for the turmeric infused one. Now we're going to filter the plant part out of the broth infusion.
We have a sieve here.
And a metal bowl, whatever bowl you want. It's usually there.
Yep.
And there we go. Actually, we're going to let's put it back in the same pot, Emily. And we have a beautiful green. Okay. We're going to do the same thing now with the turmeric. Okay, our next step is we're going to melt our creams into our broth. So coconut for turmeric with our Indian spice flavor, and then cream cheese for the sage. And then just stir it in there until it's completely dissolved. Now we're just going to pour our gelatin in, our gelatin powder, mixing gently. And actually, pouring it slower is going to make it easier, Emily.
At least it's still hot, so it will hopefully break down.
Yeah.
Just keep stirring.
We're going to go back to the fire in a second, so whatever lumps or bumps you have in there will be broken up and melted in the fire. Okay, so we're stirring away until everything is nice and smooth. In case you get a lumpier texture, the cream cheese and sage broth might need a whisk, an actual whisk, to get the cream cheese to dissolve properly. So if you have any lumps of cream cheese, let me see, switch side over. I will use a whisk and just whisk it in. Or you can use an immersion blender if you have one handy. I don't, so I'm just using a hand whisk to just get it to a really smooth consistency with no lumps. Okay, so in case you had a little gelatin accident, somebody I know. And you got some big lumps floating in there. You might want to strain your panna cotta again to get the lumps out before. So it's not a complete waste of recipe at all. You just need to put it through the strainer again.
Vivica to the rescue.
And there are your lumps, your bar lumps. So after this, I'm going to pour it into my containers. I'm just using these glasses because they're about a cup's worth of broth, and that was my portion size. But you can find any mold or glass or, something that can take the heat, because my broth is still hot. And I'm going to divide it evenly. And we're going to do the same thing now with the turmeric side. By the way, I want to mention that turmeric stains. So next time, wear an apron. So here is our panna cotta, just poured in, still very hot. We are going to let them gel, and then we will see you back for a taste test. Our favorite part. Okay, here we are with our savory panna cotta, all hard and solid now. And we need to get it out of the mold, whichever mold you use, so that you can eat it. So what we have here is a little bowl with very hot water, and we're going to just immerse the panna cotta for a few seconds so that the gelatin around the edges can melt. You want to make sure that you closely watch your panna cotta so it doesn't completely melt. It should be in there for about 10 seconds, no longer than that. And then you can try, and with a knife, you gently ease the knife around the edges just to help loosen the panna cotta. Another thing that will help us to get it out of the mold is to create some vacuum, some air inside of a vacuum.
There it goes.
There it comes. There it is. Look, jiggly panna cotta.
It looks fantastic.
Okay guys, we did it. So look at them, our beautiful panna cottas.
It looks so good.
We can't wait to dig in. So here's the taste test. Which one you want to try first?
I'm going to go for the sage.
Okay, I want to try the turmeric.
Look at that.
So it should be gelatiny but not too hard. I really couldn't wait.
Wow. That sage really came through.
Yeah, the turmeric too, but it's not bitter. And the coconut flavor really.
My turn.
Was I gonna eat it all?
It's such an interesting concept. I love it.
Well, I look at this as something that you would eat in a 5-star restaurant and pay at least $40 for it.
I agree, and play around with flavors. We were talking before how bacon flavored would go down a treat.
Oh my god.
That's really good. That one's amazing, isn't it? Yeah.
I thought I was gonna like that one better, but whoa.
And we also have here the tallow from the bone broth, which we have just strained, and it's rosemary infused. So one of my secret skincare tips is to use this on your face, and tallow is amazing for skin. So I'm gonna definitely use some of that.
We will see, because I use it for cooking, and I don't know if there will be some left over. But
Yeah.
so try the panna cotta.